What's up, guys? It's your boy Nevan Isaiah Pack here with my boy Tanner Hayworth. We're gonna catch you guys up on some of the things that you missed both on campus and online on campus. So Tanner, would you like to take it away? What's happened in sports this past weekend?
So first of all, I'll say thank you for having me. I'm glad that we're getting this started finally. Finally out of the group chat, as a lot of the guys would say. But let's go on to sports. First of all, it was opening weekend for Hawaii baseball, Rainbow baseball rather, and they had a very thrilling opening against SEC Ole Miss. This is an Ole Miss team that won the national championship 2 years ago. They entered in with a transfer class at number 7 in the entire nation, and it was a little slow at first as the game went into extra innings on Friday night. That being a 5-4 victory for Ole Miss, as that game ended at somewhere around 11:30 p.m. Then on Saturday, they had their doubleheader, of which Ole Miss won the first, going 5-2 for Ole Miss. Then Hawaii would absolutely explode offensively in the second half of the doubleheader, winning that game 9-1 in the year's first victory. And then yesterday for Sunday, Hawaii baseball just keeping it very consistent here, wins 13-4 over Ole Miss. So a really amazing opening weekend for Rainbow baseball. A lot of really great debuts. We had the debut of Hawaii Gatorade Player of the Year last year in his senior year, Elijah Iquez out of Kamehameha Kapalama. He had an amazing weekend. We saw the much awaited debut of Japanese prospect Itsuki Takemoto, who went out there for 3 innings through absolute heat in those 3 innings as a pitcher. And it was just amazing to see. Makes me excited for next weekend as they get ready for another perennial regional team in NC State.
That's awesome to hear that the Bows are doing great on the baseball field. But in other debut news, the women of UHE Esports Valorant team had their debut matches this past weekend. They entered into a one-off kind of elimination bracket style tournament, and as much as we had high hopes for their debut matches, and as much as the girls have been practicing, and as much as everybody has been like putting a lot of faith in them, the girls did come out to a resounding 0-2 loss for both the JV and varsity team. It was a very hard-fought, close losses for them, and it's one thing that we wanted to have the women of UHE Valorant team, and it's another thing to actually like see them like playing and to get to hear them. I've been sitting in their practices, getting to like interview them a lot because I've been doing a lot of story work around the women of UHE, and you know, the girls actually put in a lot of hard work. They have a lot of resources from the men's Valorant team, and you know, it's great to see them all working so hard and working together with the community, that it just makes the debut being a loss kind of a sour note. But you know, hopefully from here on out they can pick it up, and we'll see them kind of crushing it as the weeks go on.
And a wonderful transition, by the way, as we go into our own women's sports. Wahine basketball this weekend up against UC Santa Barbara, a rivalry that is much aligned in physical play, a lot of great defense, a lot of really great singular performances. But outshining all of those storylines was the much-awaited Beeman's Big Bash. This is this whole marketing thing that UH Athletics has been going for the last month now, where they were circling this game against UCSB and saying, we want to break the attendance record for this game. Well, they ended up being short on attendance, but they did issue around 5,000 tickets. So that does break the ticket issued record in the Laura Beeman era in her last 12 years that she's been a head coach here at the University of Hawaii. The mark they were trying to pass was 4,340. That was set in 2015 on senior night. They fell just a couple hundred short, as they had only about 4,000, just under 4,100 people attend the game. Regardless of that, record-breaking night for tickets issued, and another really great milestone for a player like Deja Phillips, the forward out of Las Vegas. She got her 1,000th point in her Rainbow Wahine career as she finished last night with 22 points, shooting 6 of 9 from the field in her 30 minutes of play. And she, by herself, was the Rainbow Wahine offense in the first half. And a lot of the questions going into the second half with a 5-point deficit under the Gauchos was who's going to come out and who's going to support Deja Phillips. Well, her co-star Lily Wahine Kapu came out absolutely on fire in the second half, leading to a 6-point turnaround in the third quarter, giving Hawaii the 1-point lead going into the fourth quarter. And after that, it was just defense on defense on defense, as it just seemed that whoever had the ball last was going to have the best opportunity to win the game. And with only about 30 seconds left in the game, with the Rainbow Wahine just looking to make sure they can keep their 2-point lead, it was defense that stopped the UCSB Gauchos on a last-second 3 as the Rainbow Wahine triumphed over their rival in UC Santa Barbara, 68-64. Lily Wahine Kapu finishing with 20 points. Like I mentioned, Deja Phillips and her 1,000th career point, her finishing with 22 points. With that, the Rainbow Wahine sit atop the Big West as first place in the conference, sitting at a 12-3 record, as they get a nice little break here, as they and the men's basketball team both will have Thursday night off. They will both be preparing for Long Beach State on Saturday. That will be a home game for the men's team at 7 p.m., and the Wahine will be going all the way up to Long Beach to the Pyramid. Unless it's raining, then their whole leaky old pyramid that we all have our very opinionated feelings about there will be probably headed to another side gym.
Dang. Well, as the rain falls on them, so too do the rains fall on some of the teams we have over at UHE Esports. Was kind of a rough week for some of the teams. Specifically speaking about like the Valorant varsity. They were in a close 2-1 they lost a very close 2-1 nail biter against University of Southern California, which brings their record to 13-13, making them 8th in the EGF conference. But if I could really say anything about the like Valorant varsity team that we have at UH, they're so talented. They're so cracked. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't play a lot of Valorant, but when I do watch them, I'm like, wow, these guys make this game both look fun. Their matches are always exciting, and like at the very least, I'm never bored watching UHE play Valorant. That being said, they're really coin flip. I don't know how to describe. Actually, their record kind of describes the perfect 50-50, if we're being completely honest, where it's like when these guys are on, there's actually like no teams that can really like compete with them. I'd put a lot of these players up there with like the semi-pros, if we're being honest on like how like skilled they are. But when they're off their game, oh boy, do they make me look really good in silver. If I'm being completely honest, it's kind of a back and forth with them, and you know, if I don't know what they need, but someone in that team needs to really like lock them down and be like, okay guys, we're gonna stop throwing these matches, because I see them throwing games against teams that like they have no business losing against, and then they'll like clutch up a victory against a team that everybody was like, we're gonna lose to. So like, make up your mind at some point, but you know, at least keep the games entertaining. I appreciate that.
You know what's really funny about that is I could say all of what you just said about them about the men's basketball team, because like you said, they're like a coin flip. Right now they sit at 7-8 as they fell to UC Santa Barbara at Santa Barbara. And over the last couple of weeks, they've actually started to heat up on offense. So now, before, a lot of people, when you watch them lose, you're like, and it's a boring watch, why should I show up to these games? Now, over the last couple of weeks, we've had some nice little upset victories over UC San Diego and UC Davis. Sure, it sucks to lose to UC Santa Barbara, but that was only a 6-point game, 77-71, and it was a really good watch. This offense has really started to get aggressive again, and maybe that's Aran Ganot trying to go away from his more defensive lineups that are not very good offensively, but you see it in the aggressiveness from a lot of his players. You have the true freshman Tom Beatty finishing that game with 15 points, one of his best games in his first season here at the University of Hawaii. You have the grad transfer Justin McCoy, him having a really good game too at 14 points. The main issue for them is making sure that they can go back to their ways to having a really lockdown defense, and that's really hard to do when your starting center is consistently in foul trouble like Bernardo da Silva. But really, his only issue is that we don't have a good backup for him, because our backup, Morsek, as a lot of Rainbow Warrior basketball fans know, has been out for the season for the last month. So without a good backup, it's kind of obvious what the game plan is against the University of Hawaii. But in lieu of having a great backup center like we did with Morsek, this team has slowly started to pick it up on offense a little more, and it truly does make a lot of people wonder, where was this in the beginning of the year? So that's, like you said, with the Valorant team, they're coin flip, much like how the Hawaii men's basketball team is. And like I said before, they get ready for Long Beach State, one of the more aggressive, one of the more offensive, both on and off the court teams in the Big West. So that'll be a lot of fun to watch. That's at 7 p.m. this Saturday at the Stan Sheriff Center.
Awesome. That sounds that sounds like a game I want to catch. I'm actually a big NBA fan, but I don't watch a lot of college. And watching the Bows here at home, I kind of should probably watch more college. But
hey, a lot of people say the college game is a lot more fundamental. If you're a fan of basketball, college is where you want to watch usually.
That's true. That's true. But you know what I'm a real fan of? I'm a real fan of UHE Sports winning, UHE Sports dominating. And the perfect team to show that off with was the CS2 team over this weekend. They had a 2-0 stomp against Colorado State University, securing their second place in the standings with their 12 wins and 4 losses. And can I just say, where the Valorant team is a coin flip, the CS2 team is so locked in. They aren't missing shots. Their rounds don't look close. Truthfully, the only time that they ever look like they're on the back foot is when they start trolling and start popping smokes and rushing through, or doing some weirdo strats. They have a brand new, or not brand new. They have a Valorant veteran who was a part of the 2021 Valorant championship for UHE. Mikey got to see some of his clips this weekend, and oh my god, yeah, no. To go from a game like Valorant to something like CS:GO, where everybody describes the game as, or not CS:GO, CS2, where everybody describes the game as a lot more realistic and very nuanced in the control and the gunplay. Watching Mikey operate with a gun in his hands is truly a work of art. If ever there was a painter that used an AK-47, it'd be Mikey. I swear to the Lord, that man could pixel art you anything you wanted out of that gun. It was kind of just awesome to watch them, and especially since CS2 is a brand new game, and that also means that it's a brand new team for us here at UHE Sports. It's great to see them coming into the fold very strong.
Yeah, I was never that much of a CS:GO guy. I was never that good at it. That's why I wasn't that much of a good person about it. But I really do. I've had a lot of fun watching a lot of CS2 the last couple of months, so that's very exciting to see. I'm looking ahead for the future for Hawaii Athletics right now, and what's nice to be looking at is for this weekend for Hawaii men's volleyball. By the way, still number 3 in the nation, Hawaii Rainbow Warrior Volleyball is. They will be setting up for their 2-game series against Missouri S&T, and don't let the unfamiliar name chase you away. Sure, they're a first-year program, but this is a first-year program that right now they're sitting at 8-6. Am I saying we should be worried that there will be an upset? Probably not. No offense to Missouri S&T, but Hawaii should be able to handle this really well. And if you're a fan, you're like, all right, well, if we're going to handle this, why should I go down to the watch? Well, first of all, amazing talent that you'll be watching from the Hawaii side. But on Thursday night, that is going to be family day. So Hawaii Athletics will be distributing 1,000 first aid packs at Gate A, and families will have the opportunity to create their own fan board at the Hawaiian Financial FCU table. So where you can make your own sign at the game. They'll probably get on Spectrum because it's going to be on TV as well. They have a bunch of cakey activities as well. And then on Friday night for their second game of the series, Revolution is sponsoring Love Your Pet Day, and I'm pretty sure they're not saying, hey, bring your pet to the game, because I don't know if that's allowed necessarily. They will award great prizes throughout the game. In celebration, the Hawaiian Humane Society and some of their four-legged fans will be featured during the match. And there will be an autograph session afterwards. And if you've never waited in line for an autograph session of Rainbow Warrior Volleyball, get ready for a marathon, because you'll be standing in line for a long time. And because I already know, Nevan, you already have dealt with a marathon today, not a real marathon, but I know that I think standing around is still probably somewhat of an exercise for a lot of these people.
Definitely. 8 miles isn't a marathon, but I ran my heart out nonetheless. Saving the best for last, I'd like to formally introduce the UH Esports League of Legends team. These three that I'm bringing on today have been together for a few years now, and I've gotten to watch Donald, Yunision, and Brandon, Lasius, Nguyen grow from being like high diamond, like low masters players into leaders and true stars of the team. Truthfully, if we're being completely honest, pillars in the Hawaii esports community for not just their like gaming talent level, not just like how much like dedication they bring to the team and to the game, but like how much they affect their teammates, how much they bring everyone together. And it's heartwarming to watch these guys and know that they've finally overcome such a giant like milestone, beating a longtime rival in SJSU over this weekend. And along with them, brought in the big head honcho himself, Kylin half Koa Daniel. Kylin has been the coordinator for the League of Legends program for about 2 years now, and has been coaching and in the esports ecosystem here at UH for a while, even before that. So, without further ado, let's get started.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Kylin, first question for you. If you wanna start us off, could you kind of give us some background about the League of Legends team and your guys's accomplishments and your like work that you've been doing with Brandon and Donald? And
This is interesting because I haven't really been working with the team directly as a coach, so I can't say too much apart from the fact that it is impressive how well this team is performing, considering they haven't actually been able to practice much together just because of conflicting schedules. We do have Brandon and Donald. These guys are veterans in the program now, and they've been leading the team to perform absolutely beautifully this season. We haven't dropped a single match, and I think we can have Donald speak on some of that too.
Yeah, I mean, scheduling conflicts were really hard. Like, a lot of us just didn't have enough time. Whether that be like the amount of times where we're just caught on an event, like of our only times that we had to scrim, like one of us or multiple of us have like an event to go to or whatnot, so we barely had any practice over the entire season. But a lot of it was a lot of returning players, returning personalities that we're used to, so it was just very easy to just get along with, building team chemistry, everything like that. So we all understood each other very well. Like, this is like one of the best teams I would say in terms of just getting along with each other. So putting that on to the Rift and then just completely going on a tear, to put it bluntly, was insane to me, at least.
well, that's awesome to hear. I'm so happy to hear that you guys not only have your like best roster in your eyes, but like are also gelling super well, even despite all of the like, hardships you face during practice. Tanner, you want to hit him with the next one?
Yeah, so you guys were talking about, the really amazing upset that you had this weekend over your guys' big rivals, SJSU. And, as a football guy, I just know about our rivalries, just talk about I guess, because this is kind of, gamer knowledge wise here from my side. Just talk about the pop off, whether it be, physically, whether it be emotionally? Was there any pop off that happened after that victory?
For me personally, yeah, like that was just something that we'd never expected to happen. You know, they've always like snubbed us at every corner that we faced them. We never got to like get an actual good victory over them. And then just for some reason on that day, everybody just felt like we played at our best. Everybody was communicating very well. Everything was just flowing incredibly smoothly, and we just completely ran off with them, and it just ended up in a complete dominating 2-0 victory, which none of us ever expected. So it was just very great. Like, and I was extremely excited myself.
Brandon, did you pop off at all?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. It was a great series. We haven't played, I think, games in general this season that I felt were as smooth as the ones we played this weekend. The comms were really great. Everything just kind of fell into place, I guess, against SJSU this year. And I think 2 years in a row where we've made it really close playing against SJSU, but we just didn't really have what we needed. We didn't have enough to, I guess, push us there. But things fell into place this time around, and I can only be like really grateful for, I guess, everything lining up the way it did.
And then I know you guys were just mentioning how difficult it's been, at least this year, in terms of practicing with each other because of scheduling conflicts. When you jump into a game, doesn't even need to be this San Jose or SJSU one here, but when you don't have as much practice, especially in a game like League, I mean, just try to explain to people kind of what that difference is, kind of not being able to play with your team for a while there and not really having maybe that same kind of chemistry in terms of like any other games, or for the people that don't really know what League is.
I guess I'll do my take on it. So, without us practicing, I think League is a game of, obviously, it's a very team-oriented game. But once you start getting into the higher levels, it starts becoming very individually based into team like conversion. So individual performance dictating the complete overall team behavior. So team practice is like a way to develop synergy, chemistry, stuff like that, right? Where you would see that in natural sports, like say basketball. If you're trying to get a look like an open pass or something, you'd know that your teammate would naturally try to go for an open corner, then you'd like instinctually know that, right? It's just that chemistry that you guys would have. So it's like the same way in like League where you would try to build that chemistry and cohesion. But since I already feel like as a team we're already, if not incredibly high with those points, I don't believe that practice would make that big of an influence as our performance overall.
Well, I can give a first-hand account that watching you guys, definitely didn't look like you had never practiced this semester. Definitely didn't look like you guys were off synergy from each other. A very distinct play that comes to mind was Indra jumping into Baron Pit, and you guys all focusing her down super low. Balls Chan being able to alter out with a buster shot from Tristana, and then you, Donald, being able to follow that up with the Nature's Grasp into the Bramble Smash. Just like that was so clean. It was done within like a split second. It looked entirely practiced. That looked like you guys calmed that and you knew that it was gonna happen. It was one of those like moments that mind blowing. That I guess that is just like playing at a high level and like being good at the game on top of you guys like having trust in each other and being able to like build all that rapport. I actually wanted to take some time to like acknowledge Lasius. In this SGSU match, you actually had to role swap from mid lane to ADC. Can we kind of go into like why you had to do the role swap, and then also too like you're the best Seraphine in NA. And you got to whip it out against just SJSU. Like, what was it like getting your main like prio pick against biggest rival, and then being able to just absolutely dominate? I think that you ran like a clinic on Seraphine the other day. So like, yeah, can we get into that?
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Nevan, for sure. As for why I was role swapping for this weekend's games, we had a bit of an unfortunate scheduling conflict with our main starting ADC, Kua Ukubuga, and then he was out of state and wasn't able to play during our SJSU match. So I had talked it out with Donald and a bit with our coach Ian, and I was like, I do play ADC as a secondary role, and one of our subs is able to play mid lane, Omea Balls Chan, right? So I had suggested maybe it'd be better into the SGSU match that me and Donald kind of make a power bot lane by me slotting in bot with him, having that bot lane synergy, because I do duo a lot with Donald on my own time outside of esports practices. And then I know Omea is a very capable player. He's very communicative, and he has a good understanding of the game. So I knew he'd be able to hold down the fort in mid lane. So I felt like that would be our best draft into SGSU. Going into the Seraphine, um, I hadn't actually anticipated that we'd get Seraphine in this series at all because it's usually banned. Whenever they do scouting, it's usually banned against me. So, but I guess in the circumstance that like Ryder played really well game one, they dictated a lot of their bans towards our jungle, and the one time they left Seraphine open, I just had to lock it in.
All right, guys. Last question, and then you're free to go. Right? You can get back to your League of Legends or get off to work, or have you. But for Kylin, right? I know that we've talked over the years a lot about like culture and like teamwork and like community, right? Can you talk to me a little bit about what the League of Legends community here at UH kind of means to you? Because I know you're a senior and you're gonna be graduating this year, and you're gonna end your tenure here, and you're gonna hang up your hat as the coordinator for the League of Legends program. Like, what's it been like being the face of the program, having to coordinate with all the guys, having to like organize all of this together, and pretty much bringing everybody in? And then for the other two of you, I'd like to hear what you have to reflect on with Kylin's tenure coming to an end soon.
I've been a part of the league program for 4 years now, and ever since the beginning, I think building team chemistry outside of playing the game is something I really wanted to focus on. I think I was one of the earliest coaches to start doing team dinners and just having everyone meet face to face for the first time, because we also started playing during COVID years, right? So most people were just locked away at home, and a lot of the gamers just didn't get to ever see their fellow teammates in person. So I think I was just really glad that we started doing those because it brought the teams really close together. Some of these teammates became close friends. I became close friends with some of the former league players. Yeah, I'm just happy to see how the community has grown. And also shout out to Henry for teaching me the ways of being a league coordinator. I wouldn't be here without that guy. And also shout out to Kevin, because I wouldn't be in UHE without Kevin. So Donald, Brendan.
Yeah, that's Henry Chung and Kevin Nguyen, the previous League of Legends coordinator and the current UH Esports inspector. But yeah, also Donald and Brandon. Can you guys give me some insight on what it's been like to, I guess, work under Kylin for the past few years? I guess as your senior, like how has he been?
Yeah, I mean, when I first came into the league program, Kylin was one of the first few people who, like, I guess, really spoke to me. He was really open and extroverted, and for me, who's very timid and quiet, I really appreciated that. I always respected Kylin as just someone I could come to for just advice. He's very chill, and I really appreciate his perspectives on things. Even though, like, I guess a lot of people would like argue that I can't really talk to Kylin about stuff like the game because there's like a difference in our ranks. I still really appreciate what he does for our league team in terms of player bonding and stuff like that. He's really looks out for all of the players individually on the team. Holistically and individually, he does a great job, and I just can't believe that this is going to be his last semester as just in the program working with us, and I feel so like indebted to Kylin for real. He's the goat.
That's very sweet. Thank you,
I
Brendan.
agree. This guy is the guy. I think Gillen was very, very crucial in our part of the team building, team bonding, just building the team as a whole, and just like being like the cohesive glue that keeps everything together. So I think it's gonna be very hard to replace him as a coordinator, as the lasting impact he's made. It's kind of a tough shoe to fill.
And I think you're gonna be right there. I think that with the departure of Kylin and a lot of the seniors this year, that like esports program is gonna have a lot of big shoes to fill. But I have to hope and pray that you guys, as the next generation, are gonna be able to lead them well, Kylin's not here. I'm gonna wish you guys the best, and you know, you guys are a bunch of tough cookies, so you're gonna be able to go out there, get the work done, and make sure that like all of Kylin's hard work and the rest of the like team there at UHE are always doing good work. So thanks everybody for coming. This has been Nevan, Isaiah, Pack, and Tanner Haywood. Thank you so much, everybody. Goodbye.